Welcome into the draft profile for Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle out of Michigan. This is the other defensive tackle. Somehow, Kenneth Grant is probably going to be a borderline top 15, top 20 pick at the latest and still be the second defensive tackle taken out of Michigan. Insane. But we are talking about a 6'4", 330-pound behemoth of a man who can probably play anywhere along the interior defensive line. Even nose tackle. I think he can line up right over the center and be pretty damn impactful. And look, let's go ahead and get into the skill chart and we'll break down Kenneth Grant from there. And as we look at the skill chart, we obviously have to start with what we're going to draft him to be, right? Whoever drafts Kenneth Grant will immediately improve their run defense the second he signs the contract. So we know that at a 7.9, that is all the respect in the world. He is going to be one of the more impactful players from that perspective from day one. The thing that makes him a top 20 pick, in my opinion, is the athleticism that goes along with it. At a 6.3, obviously, look, this isn't a twitchy athlete. I wouldn't call him that by any means. Not explosive off the ball at a 5, that's just fine, but he moves well enough, and his athleticism is real. He's going to be able to get after the quarterback a good bit. He's so powerful. He's so strong, and I do believe he is going to collapse the interior of that offensive line and really cause problems for quarterbacks. Obviously, we know the old saying about Tom Brady. More than anything, he hated that interior pressure. Kenneth Grant, one of those guys that's going to be able to cause that interior pressure while also being able to stop the run and all these other things. And as we go down the line for my skill chart here for you, his hand usage, I gave it him 6.6, truly just because, he uses his hands like sledgehammers. Really, it is just absolutely incredible the amount of power and force that he gets from him. The amount of times you see him just push guards back. It's fun to watch. It's really, really fun to watch. And really, we look at leverage, and I'm going to sit here and tell you that's probably my favorite thing about him. I think that really speaks to what he's going to be able to do at a high level, at the NFL level. I like him most as a guy who can two-gap, the classic Patriots defensive tackle that's just a space eater in the middle and allows your linebackers to fly upfield because you have a giant human creating lanes in the middle of that defense. That's really where I think you get the most value from him. That's really what I think you're going to want from him at the next level, and there's going to be a team that's going to see that and it's going to value it pretty high. And ultimately, I think he's the type of guy who will end up being your top 15, top 20 pick because a team is going to value that skill set so incredibly highly. Now, he can do a lot of different things. As I mentioned, I think he can line up at a lot of different fronts, odd, even, wherever you want him. I think he can do a lot of different things. You can utilize the athleticism that he has to an extent, but really his bread and butter, I do believe, is going to be, dropping the anchor, holding blocks, and allowing his linebackers to fly upfield through the lanes that Grant is creating. All right, it's a thankless job for a lot of people in the NFL. Fans probably won't appreciate it as much as they should, but there are defensive coordinators that look at this skill set and say, yeah, that is something we have to have. That is something we have to spend a top tier pick on. So where does he go? I think it's tough for a guy like this because it's just going to be so team dependent. I can see a lot of teams having him at the very top of their board. I can see a lot of teams just not valuing or needing that type of skill set and passing on him. So it'll be interesting. I'd be shocked if he fell outside of the top 20. There's too many teams that need help on that interior. There's too many teams that need help in the front seven in general. So maybe if just teams valued other skill sets more, he could fall just outside of the top 20, but then you're just finding a team that's getting insane value on a defensive tackle that, in my opinion, should be going way before the start of, the 20s, I guess. I think top 15 really feels incredibly likely. The Dolphins at 13, I'm a Dolphins fan. This guy makes a lot of sense to me. Put him next to Sealer and just let him improve that run game immediately. The Cowboys, same kind of conversation at 12, I think. Anyway, wherever he goes, I do think he's a day one starter, 3 down type of guy who can play. He can get after the quarterback to an extent. He can play the run really well. I don't think he's limited in any way. Special player coming out of this class, and somebody that you have to know about. All right, guys, that's all I got on Kenneth Grant. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you're interested in draft profile content. Helps out the channel a whole lot. And hey, we're trying to grow. I'm trying to get better every year. I'll be doing draft profiles every single day leading up to the NFL draft, and then after the NFL draft, I'll be breaking down those same players and where they fit and how it's going to look for their team. Super excited. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.